Give it Super Shroud, or Hexproof, I guess. Oh, it gives it. It's countered either way. So right now it's a 7, and there's 10, and it's not blockable by artifacts. So that's going to be the first game. All right. All right. That is not what I wanted to happen at all. What just happened? My life totals. No, I don't remember. I think I had it on. Alright, I accidentally messed with that. That's not what I wanted to do at all. I like the look of that one. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to go to the second game. Thomas is going to be on the play. And he's back down to 0 infect. And Andy also resets to 20. Andy Martin is I should say Dr. Martin. Dr. Martin is a longtime advocate of red decks. He loves to play the red. And that's alright, because red decks, as you saw, can be incredibly powerful. And a lot of people sleep on red, and that's not something that you really should do, because sometimes red will burn you. So yeah, they're going into their sideboards. Thomas, it's hard to tell what he has. Yeah, he looks like he's siding out Torpor Orb. That doesn't seem very good. He might bring in another Chalice, and spot removal. I assume he has some kind of ultimate prize. Go for the throat. Go for the throat might not be as optimal because of Inkmoth, but Doomblade, Dismember, Disfigure, Dark Blast. There's a lot of cards that he could have to stop this type of a deck. The problem is that if you play Chalice, you can't really have, and you play Chalice on 1, you can't really play 1 mana spells. You can, but you can't play as many. Like, you can't make your deck Serum Visions, Lightning Bolts, all these kind of cards, and play Chalice of the Void. So if you play Chalice, you have to craft your deck not necessarily just around Chalice, but you have to make sure that you take that into account. Because Chalice of the Void is a very, very strong magic card. And I thought that, until I saw the Wild Defiance, obviously, I thought that it was just going to be absolute game for Thomas, actually. But hopefully we'll be able to do this again next week. Next week, though, it is Grand Prix Detroit, and I will... there's a chance that I actually won't be able to do it next week. I might have to get a guest commentator in, because we'll probably be pretty busy next door, if I had to imagine. So I definitely don't want to not stream next week, but the logistics of it and stuff, it just might not be able to happen. Logistics being getting somebody back here that's not me. So, I'm going to look at their 7s, and it looks like Thomas has a Spellskite, which is a very, very strong card for him to have in his opening hand, assuming he has 2 lands. Both keep Delta Pass into land Glistener Elf for Mana Guy, perhaps? Oh, 2 life. 18 life for Andy Martin. He's going to lead with a Glistener Elf, and that's a good way to start it. Thomas is going to take 1, grab a Watery Grave tapped, I imagine. Safe to assume it's a dual land tapped either way. It could be a Godless, a Temple Garden, or not a Temple Garden, a Hallowed Fountain, or a Watery Grave. I think he's just blue-black Tezzeret, but if he's Esper Tez, he does have the other 2 shocks as well. So Thomas is at the top. Wow, Thomas is at the top of your screen playing blue-black Tezzeret, and Andy's at the bottom of your screen playing Infect. Andy won the first game with a Wild Defiance through a Chalice of the Void, but because of Wild Defiance, he was able to target his Infect creature with a bunch of 1-mana spells, and it still gets the bonus. So we're gonna see a Mox Opal come down for Thomas. No second land. Mox Opal does not tap for mana. So right now, he just said, Andy, try to beat me, because if I get another artifact, you better believe, buddy, that this is going to be a tough game for you. So we're going to see if Andy can just put a bunch of damage into play, like a Might of Old Kroza. Might of Old Kroza would be ideal. Or maybe even a Blighted Age. Well, actually, a Might of Old Kroza Pendlehaven is also good. That's 6 points of infect damage. Okay, 6 points of infect damage. Alright. So, Blue-Black Tez goes to 6 infect damage. And the wheel on that is meant to keep track of infect, but actually, I am unable to see that on there, so that's alright. So, Thomas doesn't look like he draws another land, and that, if he does not have a way to handle this Glistener Elf, that is certainly game on Andy's next turn. Andy only has to deal 4 infect, and he already has 1 point of it in play. 2 points with the Pendlehaven. Going to see a draw for Andy, a fetch land, Wooded Foothills come down. We're going to see an attack from the Glistener Elf, I believe. Yep, with a Pendlehaven trigger. Nope, just Vines of Ashwood. That's going to be 11 infect, and it has Shroud. And that's going to be it. Yeah, Andy does what infect does and gets there. And because that was so fast, I'm going to run next door really fast and try to get someone else on camera. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. That was easy peasy. Looks like David gets to play on Andy's playmat, unless... no, he didn't. Okay. So at the top of your screen, we have the player from last round, Bill Wolford. And on the bottom of your screen, on the right-hand side of the score, we have David Black. I don't know what David Black's playing. I do know that Bill's playing Goblins, as we saw that last round. But it's going to be a treat to find out what David's playing. As David does not often play cookie-cutter, net decks, metagame, whatever you want to call it. He likes to sometimes do his own thing. Like, he's a big advocate of Brimazing with Afara in play, which a lot of us were, to be fair. But he loved that, if I remember right. Who doesn't? You get to draw a card, and then you have a big cat in play. This is game one of their match as Standard. This is Standard also. Standard started the fourth round after Modern. So we're going to see Bill have an Obelisk of Earth. That's a gross card to open with. Jeskai at the bottom? Something with blue-red. Might be blue-red artifacts. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Maybe David decided to play the crazy deck. He'll play a regular deck, but he always has his own unique twist on it that are always really awesome and different and outside of the box. And that's what I like to see a lot in Magic is not just the same thing over and over and over again. Granted, it might be similar to something, but it's still a little different and makes it yours. So, might see a turn 2 Hangerback Walker for one, which looks like that's what it's going to be. Hangerback Walker, for those of you who do not know, it costs XX, and it comes into play with X +1/+1 counters. You can pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on it, and when Hangerback Walker dies, you get a number of Thopter tokens equal to the number of 1/1 counters on him. So if it has 4 counters and it dies, you get 4 1/1 Thopters. Darksteel Citadel is going to come down for David Black, and he's going to look at his hand and think about it. He might want to attack and just try to get the trade to happen, as that is a pretty good trade for him, I think. Is just trading the Hangerback Walker. You get a 1/1, and you clear out a very, very dangerous card. Another Hangerback Walker, and a pass. So I need to read what Hangerback Walker does. I want to see if it'll trigger and put both. But I think it just pumps itself. But I might be very surprised in a second, as I do not read my Magic cards all the way. As I said, it's very important to actually read your Magic cards all the way. Subterranean Scout's going to make Foundry Street unblockable. It's now a 2 power, and X going to give it to you. 2 manas, or 2 damage is going to probably get in, knocking Bill down, or David down to 17 life. And it looks like he pumped one of the Hangerback Walkers at the end of Bill's turn. So yeah, you pay 1 and you tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on itself. It doesn't work if you have like 3 of them. 1 will not put 1 on each. That's what I was checking, just to see how it was worded, to make sure. And it's not the most ridiculous card. It wouldn't be the most ridiculous, but it would be a lot better than it already is. So David's thinking about what to do. He has 3 mana up. With 3 mana and double red, he could Exquisite Firecraft on the Subterranean Scout or the Frenzy Goblin, but that doesn't seem very good. So he's going to Chief of the Foundry, making one of them a 3/3 and the other a 2/2, and I think it's okay to swing with both, because if he blocks the... No, he's going to leave it up. That's also fine. Hey, you're going to play the defensive game against goblins. You know, that's completely respectable. But I think if you attacked with both, you do get a bunch of tokens if one of the cards dies or he loses a creature, so you get a bunch more blockers that way. And I don't think that Bill will play like any deal $1 creatures type cards or Anger of the Gods or Seismic Rupture or anything in his aggro deck. So we're going to see a Stoke the Flames. Nope, Obelisk of Herd on Goblins. Well, yeah. That's a thing. Let's see, 1 creature came in, so it's a 2/1 with +2/+2, so it's a 4/3, if I have that right. It would put David down to 13, or you could trade the big Hangerback. Yeah, he's just going to trade big Hangerback. And he's going to get 2 1/1 Thopters, which each get +1/+1, so 2/2. They're to the left, David. They're to Bill's right. The Thopter tokens are on the left side of your screen, but, hey, there he is. I was like, I hope he finds them. We did bring some Thopters over, as they are pretty popular in this set. And Dave's going to tap and draw, and he's facing down an Obelisk of Erd, which is not the thing he wants to see, really, as that is a dream card for the Goblins player. It makes all of your outbursts and your fodders even more better than they already are, and they're already really good Magic cards. So we're going to see an Insult Artifact, maybe? Nope, don't know what that is. It looks like Artificer's Epiphany, but that's not what it is. I don't know what that is. Maybe military intelligence? I bet that's military intelligence. Oh, man. David Black is a big advocate of that card. When it came out, he played that a bunch.